All right, so welcome to week 3, video 3, mastering volumes in trading with Urban Forex. Now, don't forget a couple of things. Okay, once you're done with week 3, this is the moment when I would personally feel, as my opinion, is you start demoing now at least. Start trading. Okay, again, given that you have completed your mastering price action and you've done at least a little bit of the 4-course bundle, start trying to take trades using this knowledge of high volume pop, low volume pullback. Okay, high volume pop, low volume pullback. High volume pop on the 60, low volume pullback on the 15. Okay. All right, begin to use that knowledge so you can start to see, okay, now that I know, okay, with high certainty, now that I know the trade is going to work, my objective now changes from will this work or not work to a very high certainty of I know this is going to work. Now it's just a matter of how do I grab it. Okay, this is a much better problem to deal with. Trust me, it's a much better problem to deal with. I've seen so many traders out there, they're so good at technical analysis, but then one day they make a perfect trade and the other day the trade goes completely against them and they're scratching their heads like, what? How did this happen? I don't get it. Well, it's okay. As long as I win 9 out of 10 times, it's okay. And then, so you don't wanna be in that position. You wanna win as often as possible. You wanna increase your odds as much as you can in your favor, and then the goal becomes how can you grab it to the best of your ability. Okay, and for those of you who already know me, how I trade on the elite community, I'm always trying to experiment grabbing it at the very, very tightest stop losses and everything like that. I do not recommend that you do that in case you've already seen me how I trade that aggressively. It is not recommended. I will teach you guys in the advanced course, the free course that you guys have in the advanced course in the elite community, on what are the best and correct procedures on how to do it. Okay, you'll see me do it time to time if I have to trade correctly, because I got to pay bills and stuff like that. But most of the time you'll see me always experimenting very easily and showing you how I'm trying to grab trades. Okay, anyways, so what we're looking for right now is we want you to start to begin to trade. Okay, so let's do some examples. But before we do the examples, I'm going to walk you through sort of like, we're going to mix the examples with sort of like a quiz. Okay, I'm going to walk you through and try to call it out and try to understand what you see. Okay, so let's start out with this. Here we go. The markets are moving up. Okay, they do some kind of a congestion here. Oh, sorry. Move some kind of a congestion here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's not the best looking congestion, but there's something there. And then we have a increase here, a pop. Okay, let's draw this line on the pop, and it's like, wow, that's a pretty high volume. That looks pretty good. But then what's this? It increases volume on the return as well. Now, what is that? What's going on through your mind? Can you prepare this for a buy? Okay, what if this is just a pullback for me to do a buy? Is that correct? If you said no, that is correct. Okay, if you're saying this is turning into a pullback for a sell, how can you confirm that? It is only, you can confirm it with the pullback volume. As long as the pullback volume is nowhere near these highs, you're golden. Okay, you're golden. Okay, now let's take it further down. We have a range that develops in here, okay, and we're breaking basically the lows of this day, okay, when it pops down like that. But let's see how that looks. Here's the range volume. Okay, it picked up volume right there. You see, right? You see that? It picked up volume right there, and then nothing happened, and then we had a pop all the way down here, which is almost identical as the range volume. That's not a good sign. Okay, it's not giving us any decent clear cut telling us that, hey man, the sellers are here. They're here to stay. Okay, now in this one, you can almost see, hey, we got another range here, but what's weird about this range is now I have high volume in the range that gets eaten by the sellers. Now remember when we discussed this in the previous video, in the first video, sorry, during the nuisances, right? The little fine details. When it gets eaten like that, it basically means it's not someone stepping in to say, I want to sell this. It just means the buyer stepped away. Okay, so it's not due to travel far. And that's why anything afterwards, you can see it has a tougher time to go down. It's not as smooth. Okay, now things take a turn as we're approaching here. There is not really much a congestion, unless you want to call this little thing a congestion. Okay, again, dealing with a downtrend, you can call that a congestion. High volume break, but what happens if you say, oh yeah, that's a high volume break? Well, if this is your pullback phase, high volume just as equal to that high volume, again, it means no go. It means no go, right? As things develop, the ranges go further. Okay, almost like you want to do it like this now, because it becomes a congestion. Got a little high volume in there. Nothing happens. And then we have a pop right here. Nothing happens. And then the volume starts to increase again as it starts to develop upwards. Now, it's very tough to say if this is a buyer's sign. Okay. Do you notice something here that in the last few that we talked about, it's like, I think I only saw one clear movement. You know why that is? Because you're not dealing with a nice trend. You're dealing with something that looks like this. You see that? It's not a flow in the market. Okay? So you're dealing with both parties trying to activate. Okay? Let's take it further. Now let's take it here. So you see a little congestion here forming. And then you have a break to the upside and then also a break to the downside. Well, it's arguable that that's a pretty high volume, but it's below the normal. If you said that, very good. Okay, below the normal, the average. Okay, and that high volume was on the buyer's side, and then the seller eats it up, but no high volume on the eating up part. Okay, it's less than the buyer. Okay, so that's basically telling you it is not due for travel on the sell side quite yet, right? It's not as strong as it's supposed to be. Okay, well, what's going on? Whoa. Now, what is this now? High volume eating it back up? Okay, now it's a little bit strange now, isn't it? It's like, well, what's going on here? What is happening? Okay. Now, as we read this, like, okay, we're getting here. It means we're going to do a pullback for a buy. But can you say this pullback is healthy? These pullbacks are on higher volumes compared to the high volume that went up on these candles. Okay, that means a pullback has stronger volume. That's not good. Okay, so again, new range here, and then that pops. Now, all of this stuff, okay, I chose this chart on purpose just to throw you off a little bit. Sorry, it's what I like to do. But just to throw you off a little bit so you can have a aha moment right here. What you see right here is a higher time frame picture playing the game, right? And what does this mean? Okay, this is so focus clearly now. So if the higher time frame is saying that's your down move, these are your pullbacks. Doesn't this look like a V formation? The volume details is telling you not yet. Not yet. Does that make sense? So you can even gauge the flow of things of saying, wait, they're going to tell me it's not yet. Excuse me, I keep having hiccups today. Okay. All right, so keep that in mind as the market moves further. We had a high volume on the down move, pullbacks coming in, low volume, low volume, low volume, low volume, pulls back a little bit deeper, holding, low volume still. Whoa, look at that green candle come in. Look at that green candle come in. It comes almost as high as this price, but look at that. Is that like the high volume pop on the downside? No. This is basically telling you, hey, if you're following the flow, which is a down move, and you're following this slowdown on the upward move, which tells you there was no higher high here, and there's your V formation, and we're getting our tests pieces coming in, it's still telling you it is below all of this stuff. So what does that mean? Let's take it further. Here it goes. Here it goes. Slowing down a bit. And there it goes. All the way down. Okay? Down to an area where we would start to begin to exit some of our positions. Okay? Okay, and it makes eventually a lower low. But are you starting to get the idea? You see why I threw you off there? It's because when you're dealing with a chart that doesn't belong to that time frame, the chart's gonna look weird. And when you have that weird feeling, it means it doesn't belong to that time frame. Now here is where many of you guys are gonna make a mistake. Okay? I want you to promise me in the comment below right now that you, when you see this, you're not gonna suddenly change the time frame you're trading to try to trade a higher time frame. Okay? Don't just say, well, there's nothing for me on this time frame, but I can see the higher time frame. Let me just switch to that one. Stop. Okay? Promise me right now that you will not derail from your time frame. Is that even a word? Yeah, you will not go away. I can't even find the word. What am I trying to say? You can't detour? Anyways, you know what I'm saying. So you're not gonna get distracted and switch time frames because your clock is not adjusted. Your body clock onto is it now? Is it now? Is it now? All that stuff. Okay, this is very dangerous to suddenly switch. Okay, good. So now you see all the pieces of information into this. Now look at it this way. Can you even say that's a V formation? Doesn't even look like it, does it? Because this looks more like a V formation, right? Well, the thing is, well, the idea is supporting with the buyers after, if that was the V formation, why is my buyer so strong? Doesn't make any sense. And that gives you a heads up of stand by. It's not now. It's not now. It's not now. Okay? And this will keep you safe and and give you that information that will help you with even your timing. Make sense? All right. So you want to do this as much as you can. Again, take this whole week, try to trade these things, demo, okay? Or if you are bent on trading live, please trade very, very small into an amount you can afford to lose that you don't care about. Okay? Go small, take it easy, and monitor again, because again, your homework for this week is as you do this, you're going to see little nuisances. I'm sure some of you guys are laughing right now. You're gonna see little nuisances. I want you to mark those down, because come next week, we're gonna discuss those little details, because you're gonna have them and we're gonna tweak it. So now you're pretty much ready to start trading little by little. But going forward, I'm going to tweak you to be a little better, a little better, a little better, like week after week, week after week. Okay? All right. So don't forget to do your homework, guys. If you forgot to do your homework last week, please do that as well. You need to get in some chart time with this. You have to see how the market unfolds together with your volume. You need that chart experience. Okay, so this is my best way to force you by putting this little time gap in between the lessons, so the lessons make sense only if you've put in the time. Okay, so again, if you can't do it now, do it later. That's okay. You're not forced to do it within this particular week or the next upcoming week. You do it when you can. But I recommend you watch the next lesson only after that. It's recommended. Obviously, you can do what you want, but it's recommended by me to do it like that. Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. I will see you guys next week. We're gonna go a little bit more into detail, and basically next week's entire lesson is going to be the money is in the details, and we're gonna cover stuff like that. Okay, see you guys next week. Cheers.